Hey everyone, Andy Rafael from eTeknix.com here, and today we are looking at the 1070 Ti. The day has finally come, and obviously we knew about this for quite some time. We kept the rumour mill going with some of the stories about overclocking, but today is the day where we can finally show you some performance figures. So what we've got here is the MSI 1070 Ti Gaming, and what you may find is that it actually looks typically like any other card that comes in the gaming series, but it couldn't be any more different. Basically, this is an absolute overclocking monster, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about in the rest of this video. So let's jump right in and have a look at the MSI GTX 1070 Ti Gaming. If you've been a fan of MSI graphics cards, or even owned any of their previous ones of the last few years, then you'll find the new GTX 1070 Ti to be quite familiar in terms of design. It uses the latest evolution of their extremely popular twin Frozer coolers, with a colour scheme that situates it within the gaming range of products from MSI. It features two MSI Torx 2.0 double ball bearing fans, which use 14 lightweight blades to deliver huge amounts of airflow, even at a lower RPM, which helps keep the card as cool as possible. Of course, like most modern graphics cards, it also has a 0 RPM mode, allowing the card to run completely passive and silent in low load and low temperature scenarios. What's most impressive is that the card will be completely silent until it hits 60 degrees Celsius, so even some moderate gaming should be possible while the card is completely silent. A lot of this passive cooling performance comes from the fact that it uses a huge heatsink design. The card measures just 11 inches long, making it one of the shorter solutions on the market, although it is a little bit taller than most to accommodate those larger fans, but that's a trade-off I'm more than happy to make. The card also maintains a strict 2-slot design, and that means it's going to be much more compatible for those wanting to run it in an SLI configuration. The actual design of the cooler is pretty cool, obviously borrowing heavily on the common gamer theme of using the black and red, but towards the front of the card you do have a red shroud around the first fan, while the back of the card uses red thin highlights that really give it an aggressive visual style. On the reverse of the card you'll find a full-size backplate, providing added strength to the card, which will prevent it from drooping or sagging. Of course, this will also provide some passive cooling performance to the PCB. Let's not forget its most important feature though. It just looks cool, even more so with the MSI Dragon taking pride on the back. Connectivity on the card is what you would expect, offering up a DVI connector, 3 DisplayPort connectors and a single HDMI, which is more than enough for those running multiple displays or VR hardware. There is some LED and RGB lighting built into the card for those who love a bit of customization. There are LED lights built into the red fins on the cooler, and while you can't change the colour of these, you can change their effects. You can set them to a steady light, breathing, flashing, or turn them off entirely. Down the side of the card you'll find an RGB LED lit MSI logo and dragon, where you can also apply the same effects, but this time you can take it one step further and can select any colour you desire using the downloadable software. Performance is key for this graphics card, as it is essentially a super fast 1070, or as some may see it, a limited GTX 1080. But make no exceptions, it still packs some high-end hardware to help you squeeze out extra performance. It comes with MSI's military class hardware, high C caps, super ferrite chokes, Japanese solid caps and more. What this means for the end consumer is that the card should be able to push higher overclocks while still maintaining stable and reliable performance. Power delivery comes in the form of an 8-pin plus a 6-pin power connector. This should provide more than enough voltage to hit those higher overclocks. Now it's time to see how this card performs, so let's get it on the test bench and see what it can do. Thanks to its large dual fan design, the military class hardware and robust power delivery, the MSI Gaming GTX 1070 Ti graphics card had no issues delivering exceptional performance. Of course, that performance was right where we expected it to be, sitting comfortably between the GTX 1070 and the GTX 1080 for most of our tests. As we suspected, it was also giving the AMD VEGA 64 a knock-for-knock run for its money, and we all know that's the reason Nvidia created this card in the first place. What was most impressive is that even while we were benchmarking the card extensively, the maximum GPU temperatures was just 64 degrees, which is only marginally over the 60-degree threshold for the 0 RPM fan mode. With that in mind, it comes as no surprise that this card was able to hit some beastly overclocks. It took virtually no time at all to see how far we could push this graphics card. The original boost clock of 1683 MHz is clearly very conservative. We were able to add another 190 MHz with no issues at all. Pushing that to 200 did result in some artifacting, although with a slight voltage tweak, enthusiasts may be able to get it even further. The memory clocks were also shown some love, taking an extra 430 MHz boost without the card even breaking a sweat. Both the overclocks to the memory and the GPU saw the performance of the card skyrocket, easily beating out a factory overclocked GTX 1080 in our Unigine benchmark. It also landed just 3 points behind one of the faster 11 gigabit per second models. If you saw the rumours that the GTX 1070 Ti can deliver GTX 1080 performance, we can now confirm that they are true. Of course, a good quality GTX 1080 from MSI will likely overclock higher too, so it's a never-ending arms race. If you're on the market for a card that costs somewhere between 1070 and 1080 prices, with incredible overclocking performance, then the MSI GTX 1070 Ti is easily the card for you. If Nvidia can help keep stock and prices in balance, it will be a big hit. So guys, as you saw, our performance is pretty much where we expected it to be. Overclocking wise, we were completely dumbfounded. Absolute, like we said, overclocking monster. I kind of feel a little bit sorry about anyone who went out and bought a 1080, because 1070 Ti, you know, once it was overclocked, it was completely sort of annihilating the 1080. And you've also got to look at pricing versus performance and that kind of thing. So it's going to be very interesting to see kind of who's bought a 1080 and who maybe is going to take the jump to a 1070 Ti, if you're going to SLI them instead of going for something, you know, like a 1080 Ti. There's some very, very interesting stuff going on. So please let us know in the comments section below if you're actually going to be buying a 1070 Ti, if you're going to be buying the MSI one, or any other particular brand on the market. We also know there's some other ones potentially coming out on the market that are said to be pre-factory overclocked, but that's about all I can say on that one at the moment. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video guys, and until next time, remember to subscribe to get great quality videos like this directly to your inbox. Remember to give us that thumbs up and comment below, and we will see you in the next video. See you later.